Hi class, in this recording we are going to focus on membranes of our bodies. These membranes are typically going to be made up of epithelial tissues, although there is also going to be a combination of connective and muscular tissues present in some of our membranes as well. The membranes that are made up of only connective tissues include the dura mater, our synovial membranes, and the periosteum around our bones. Some membranes that are made of only epithelium include the anterior parts of our cornea and the lens of our eyes. We also are going to have the cutaneous membrane. This is cutane, or acute, referring to skin. This is the single largest membrane of our body, and it's going to be made of two layers. We have an epithelial layer, which is the epidermis, made of stratified squamous epithelium, and we have a connective tissue layer which makes up the dermis of our skin, and that's made of a dense irregular connective tissue. The relatively dry layer, which is the epidermis, is going to serve as the protective layer of the skin, whereas the dermis is going to be highly vascularized and supply a lot of nutrients to that dry layer, the epidermis. As we look at a traditional mucous membrane, the traditional mucous membrane, or mucosa, is going to line passageways that are open to the external environment, like our digestive tract or respiratory tracts. This is important. Structure determines function. These passageways that are open to the external environment have lots of bacteria and dust and pathogens that we breathe in and eat in. So those bacteria and pathogen, I'm drawing some little dots in green right now to represent bacteria, are going to be caught up in the mucus, and then the cilia, which I'm drawing in red, will move the mucus away and carry the potential pathogens away with the mucus to be destroyed. As we look at these glands are going to have a sublayer. The sublayers include the epithelial layer, and then we're going to have our lamina propria, which is going to be typically called the submucosa, and then we have the muscularis layer, which is going to have some muscular, typically smooth muscle associated with it. These glands are going to be used for secretory purposes in that they secrete mucus, protective purposes in that the mucus helps to trap pathogens, and absorptive purposes in that a lot of times, in particular in the digestive tract, we absorb nutrients through these cells. As we look at serous membranes, a serous membrane is also known as a serosa, and it's a double internal membrane. The serous membrane is going to be made of a simple squamous epithelium. So one layer of flattened cells, shown here, one layer thick of flattened cells. That one layer of flattened cells produces serous fluid. That serous fluid is going to be derived from the blood plasma. And the serous membranes are going to cover organs and cavity walls of our bodies. We find that the endothelium is going to line the blood vessels and heart, and the mesothelium is going to line the body cavities in particular. We focus on the pericardium, the peritoneum, and the pleural serous membranes. That's all we have for this recording on membranes in our bodies. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them in the class discussion board or shoot me an email. Happy studies.